one of our first questions in. This one is an email question from Lois. It says, I read in Sunday's paper about the downtown market. It sounds like something I saw in Portland, Maine. Can you tell a bit more about it, and what will be in the market?
I certainly can. I anticipated that I might get this question, and I actually brought along some photos, which I hope we can put up.
And I think we tried to maybe make the graphic available too.
Okay. But yeah, this is a $30,000 or $30 million, excuse me, project, and about 12.5 is private funds. And we hope to see this market, if everything goes on schedule, open up already next spring in May. If you go down there, and I happened to do that actually today, I was taking a bike ride to another meeting, and I rode by it just to take a look at the construction because it's happening quite fast. This market is going to have a lot of unusual features. It will be almost like what you would see in Grand Central Market in terms of the different kind of vendors. There will be somebody with a bread artisan and cheese artisan and wine and a brewery. And there will also be space for classrooms for young people from the city to come and learn how to cook. And, and there are greenhouses that will be on the top. So it'll be, I think, a destination for people to not only shop, but to go and look and explore. And I know that people had concerns too about potential competition with the farmers market, because the farmers market has also done a great project, and they're ready to go launch their third phase and build the indoor part of that. But there were many discussions early on with Grand Action, which is behind this project, and with the group from Midtown about the farmers market, about cooperating. And in fact, some of the funders for this project, the urban market, are also funders for the farmers market. And they really serve different populations. Part of the goal in the city is to create walkable communities, and you'll see if you go to the farmers market, which I've done for a good 30 years, you always see your neighbors there. So a lot of people are walking or biking to the markets. And
it's a social event too.
It's a social event, definitely. You're always stopping and talking to somebody. And on top of that, there's so much development going on in that area around the urban market that there'll be a lot more people living there. Brookstone Capital has done Serrano Lofts, and they've got another project going for market rate and affordable housing. Dwelling Place has a project that's going to create more housing in the old Hertner Hotel. There's ICCF is working in that area and doing housing improvement, and there's the new University Prep School that's starting. So you're going to see a lot more people in that area, and I think that they're going to be shopping at this market.
So that has always been a concern for downtown Grand Rapids. Lots of growth, bringing lots of people downtown to live, but not necessarily grocery accessible. And
right.
This is really addressing part of that.
It is part of it. We could still use a regular grocery store, because I think some of this might be a little pricey. But the outdoor, the summer market, that's where I think you can just like at the farmers market, you get your bargains in your healthy food, which is a huge concern too. We all have heard about food deserts, and cities are concerned about that. And we ought to have places where you can walk and get fresh food. And certainly if you're cooking on your own, you're saving money.
Okay. Well, tell a little bit, describe what's going to be in there. You mentioned some of the things like artisan bread, artisan cheese. We did flash up a couple of the drawings of the whole project, but talk a little bit about its layout. Is the second floor housing then? Apartments or something? Actually,
I had just read in the paper yesterday, they had a story about it, and there was there are greenhouses, a couple of greenhouses that will be on the top.
Okay.
I don't know that these are going to show very well, but you can see the glass roofs here in the greenhouses on the top story. So, and I know that they're quiet about who's trying to get in there now, and the contracts haven't been let yet, but we're going to see, I think you'll see olive vendors, and you'll see cheese vendors, and bakery, and
those specialty kinds of
the specialty kind of foods that are, popular, like you would see probably in the market that Lois mentioned when she sent in her email, and Grand Central Station, where you just have the kind of things that you can't buy just anywhere. And they're going to be primarily sourced from local farmers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does it focus on food, or will be other craft type vendors there? What else is included in this structure?
You know what? The primary focus is definitely on food, but it's also, I think, on food food information and food education because of the kitchen, and you will be able to actually view people making the cheese and making the bread. So again, it'll be one of those destination locations, but it'll also be involved in teaching some of our city children about nutrition and cooking and food preparation and how it gets here and how it's distributed.
Okay.
Agriculture is the second largest
Michigan industry,
and we have to take advantage of that, and this will be a way to showcase it.
Okay, so you mentioned a date when it's supposed to be completed.
It's supposed to be completed in May.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
2013,
soon.
very soon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we did have another question in there, and I think you've already addressed it, that had to do with the downtown market, and you talked a little bit about maybe the perception that there's competition with the Fulton market, but saying more that they enhance each other.
Right, I had the very same question. I'm not surprised to hear that, because I wondered the same thing when I heard about the two projects and they were coming together at the same time. But in my discussions with Christine Helms-Maletic, who led the charge in terms of fundraising for the farmers market, and with others, they had conversations together. They were very deliberate in figuring out, what are the demographics and who's going to shop where. We know that there's going to be so much growth in terms of population downtown that we feel confident that both of these markets are going to be visited by lots of people. I'm sure that some of the artisans are wondering about a market that's going to be open 7 days a week from morning till late evening. Are they going to have enough business all day long? And that remains to be seen. They may have to bring on other goods that they sell. But I'm sure that they'll be flexible in terms of, addressing those issues.
Okay. In case anybody hasn't seen the construction going on, describe right where this is located.
This is at on Wealthy Street. If you go down Division and probably take Weston or Oaks down and just go right along Wealthy to Ionia, you'll see that on the corner. And it's you can almost go 1 week and then see quite a transition the next week.
That rapid.
That's that rapid, yeah. And the old Baker Furniture, one of the old Baker Furniture buildings too, is going to be transformed and offer housing. So that's also being renovated. And there again, you're going to have a market right next door to a place where people are living.
Okay, well, good information on that, and we'll keep watching as it develops, and looking forward to May.